right, everybody, we have the Jeeps side by side, kind of give you guys a comparison of what the 2022 Rubicon looks like next to the 2024 Rubicon. And the 2022 was one of the cheapest ones I could find, and the 2024 is the Rubicon X, which pretty much gives you everything. I think I have every option except for the winch. So first off, you can see the grille is very different between the two Jeeps. We do have the plastic bumpers on our 22, and we have the steel group on our Rubicon X, which is actually very nice. Gives you a whole lot more dimension, and you're able to take the ends off of the bumper to make it a shorty. And this one, I've always had the thought in my mind that I would probably need to get an aftermarket for it. So a very big difference is the fact that we have the ugly incandescents on the 22, and we ended up with the beautiful LED package on the 24, and I definitely need to do some improvements on the 22 to get the lights at the same level as the 24, because I absolutely love the way this looks. Tires, we are running the exact same tire, the BF Goodrich ATKO2s in the exact same size, but our wheels have changed slightly. On our 2024, we ended up with a wheel that looks like this. Definitely drop in the comments, which wheel is your favorite? Also, our windshields have changed. This is just the standard windshield. The 2024 has the Gorilla Glass, and if you look up in this corner, you'll see that we do have the antenna now built into the glass, and we have another trail rated badge right here. And on the 2022, we have our standard, well, obviously I've replaced it with the 50 cal, but we would have that big antenna sticking here, and that's usually the first thing people want to get rid of when they buy their Jeep, because it's just kind of waving in the breeze, and if you run into anything, it's going to bang into the Jeep. So I obviously went with the 50 cal just to kind of clean that up, but on the new Jeep, you don't have to. Also, right here on the Jeep badge, right underneath it says Wrangler, and on our 2024, it says Wrangler with the American flag. And on our 22, we have the more classic grille, which I think they improved a lot with the JL, just being that it does have that nice little kind of angle to it, gives it some dimension, and the headlights are actually bigger than the JK. But which grille is your favorite? This is kind of more your classic Jeep, and this one's more kind of your modern Jeep. So the rears of the Jeep are pretty similar. We do have the steel bumper on the 24. We have the plastic one on the 22. My 22 did not come with a hitch. That was one thing that is really nice about the 24. It does have the power and everything for your trailer, so I can tow my utility trailer with that. This one, I did not get any of the wiring. I just wanted the ability to be able to put a hook back there, or maybe like a carrier in the back, so that it has the hitch. It doesn't have the wiring, and the wiring, it looks like a bit of a pain if you have to do it, especially if you want to go the same way the factory did it. So now a quick look inside. You can see we have that beautiful red dash, and on the 22 with the red and just the accents around the Rubicon and all of that, it just makes sense, the red dash. But I can understand the people that didn't like it on the other colors. If you had like maybe a purple Jeep, you wouldn't want to have a red dash. I can understand that, but in this spec, I really do like it. But now we've gone away from it. We're gonna have a look at our new dash here in a second. And there you can see our 2022 screen, which is actually a decent size, but it is a whole lot different than what you're gonna find in a 24. That one takes it to a totally different level. We do have Wrangler here on our grab handle. Everything is very nice and what you would expect in a Jeep. We have power windows. We have a leather wrapped steering wheel. We have cloth seats, which are pretty basic, but do what they need to do. And unfortunately, we don't have a heated steering wheel or heated seats, so in the wintertime, that can be a thing. Also, no command start. One thing I did notice is we do have the ability for our ambient lighting to be able to turn it up and down on the 22. And in a minute, I'll show you guys what it looks like on the 24. And one thing I noticed is the transfer case on these Jeeps is different as well. This Jeep, on the 22, we have 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Very basic, very simple, does exactly what it needs to do. And on the 2024, we will have a auto function. So now if you pull it straight back, it's auto 4-wheel drive, and then you go over for 4 high and then down for 4 low. And then over here, you can see my ProClip USA phone mount, which I absolutely love. I use it every time I drive the Jeep. But if you see over here, there's a very nice section of the dash where you can put your stuff. And I don't have that on the 24. That has changed. So we'll go over that when we go over to that Jeep. And as modern vehicles keep getting more and more modern, they have pretty much gotten rid of all of the regular e-brakes, but in a Jeep, you still get one. And if we look up here on the sound bar, we do have this kind of UFO looking light, which is all LED. Unfortunately, it couldn't do headlights, but I mean, it was an option, but I didn't get it, unfortunately, because, well, all the shortages, basically, they were just putting out as many with incandescents, which is seeming to be how they're doing things now. Even the Laramie Ram is coming out with incandescent headlights now for some reason. But either way, we do have these LEDs, and we do have this style soundbar, and it does give you a fair amount of headroom. So let's go over to the other Jeep and I'll show you guys the interior of that one. All right, so first off, you can see we do have the Napa leather seats, and there is a difference right away in this section right here for our headlights. We are not having the ability to change our ambient lighting anymore. This is just for the cluster and the screen dimming. And then we have the same type of switch for our fog lights, headlights, all of that. But we do have this Easter egg right here where we have Jeep, it looks like a Gladiator and a four-door just right there underneath your headlight controls. Then hopping up inside, you can see our dash is very different. The screen is massive compared to the other one. We do not have Wrangler anymore on our grab handle. We do have this stitching here, and it's kind of more of a refined look, I guess. We did go away from the red dash. Now we have this red stitching and this kind of textured leather. And then we have these vents instead of the round ones on either side of the screen. And then we have this little red stripe on either side of the dash, just kind of accent everything. And then there's this little piano black piece kind of in the middle, but you do lose that deep cubby compartment on the top of the dash. Then you can see our start button is a little bit recessed, so a little different than our other Jeep. We do have a very similar looking center stack, but on this one we do have the heated steering wheel, heated seats, which is very, very nice. And this one also has remote start as well for those winter months. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, but we just have an empty hole over here on the other Jeep where this one we do have the auxiliary switches. So if we want to put lights or anything like that on the Jeep, we're able to do that, and we can just have the factory button right there, and very seamless. This one we also do have this section filled, so we do have our radar cruise, which is very nice when we're traveling, and it also does give you collision warning. So if somebody slams on the brakes in front of you and you're not paying attention, it will give you that warning on the dash, and I believe it does have the emergency braking as well. Also here you can see we do have the insulation on the Freedom top, and if we look over here, we do have airbags now on the roll bar. So you're gonna have a curtain airbag, which is gonna make things a little more safe with the Jeep, but that did change our sound bar in the rear. It's a lot bigger. I think it actually is a little closer to the headrests. You can see that there, and our speakers look to be a little bit of a different shape, and that center light has definitely changed as well. Then we look down here to the middle. We still have a regular e-brake on the 24, but we do have this one wrapped in leather with this nice stitching, which matches what's on the grab handle here on the front. We do have our lockers, our off-road plus button, and our sway bar disconnect in the same spot. And this is the difference with the transfer case. If you can see down there, we do have 2 high, 4-wheel auto, 4 high part-time. I don't know why it says part-time. Does anybody know why? I've heard Jeep just has always called it that. Why would it say part-time if it's 4 high? I'm not entirely sure. The other Jeep says 4 high, and then all the way back 4 low. Another thing you will notice is we do have these orange accents on our gauges, so it's a little bit different. We do have the red on the other Jeep, and also the steering wheel. This is more of a flat black, and on the other Jeep we do have that kind of almost like a satin kind of chrome look. So one thing I did notice, and maybe you guys can help me out in the comments on what this is. I noticed it on the passenger side. On the 22, you can see down in there, there's really nothing there. You just see kind of the end of our rock slider on there, and there's just the frame. We go over to the 24, and we look down in there. There's that big bracket right there, and kind of wondering what that is. So there it is, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed just kind of our quick overview of our 22 and our 24 Rubicon. Just kind of some of the differences that they did do on the new model. And drop in the comments, do you guys like the new one, or are you more accustomed to the old one and kind of like the more classic look? But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.